this camera still working? Yep. Is this mic still working? Hell yeah. We're back talking about footy. Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to the Druzy channel, where we talk about football. We've seen enough of you partying in Europe, Druzy. Get back on bashing Carlton and Essendon and talking about how good Freo are. I'm here and I'm back to do exactly that, ladies and gentlemen. Footy season's around 2 months away, so I want to get the content rolling again, so here we are. No messing about. Let's get straight into it. In the fullback line, I've gone with the prior All-Australian Luke Ryan, Alex Pearce, and Brandon Walker. I think this has been our best backline for the last couple years. Other than Walker getting injured against Collingwood, I reckon this was probably what JL would have selected week in, week out. Ryan, as solid as they come. Alex Pearce, I mean, he's our captain, but he needs to lift in performances. It was a weird season last year, but we need a bit more consistency, a bit more of a calm head from Alex Pearce. But nevertheless, he's definitely our best fullback. And then Brandon Walker, I think he is best suited as a deep-lying defender. I think his strengths lie in his one-on-one lockdown ability. Obviously, he has a lot of room for improvement, but his ball use is what lets him down. So I think pushing him further up the field to halfback, I like him sitting deep. I like Walker sitting deep, taking a dangerous small forward. Now, the half-back line, obviously, got to have Brennan Cox at centre half-back. Not far off an All-Australian, I don't reckon, Brennan Cox. About to be a dad. Great man. We love Brennan Cox. And either side of Brennan Cox, we've got Heath Chapman and Jordan Clark. I think Jordan Clark is primed for a massive year this year. This could be his 6th year in the comp, 5th or 6th. I reckon he's just getting to that age now where he's an established AFL player. He's crazy athletic, super fast. I just think he's ready now. I think he's matured and he's ready to take that game from a role player to a standout player on this side. And then Heath Chapman on the other side. Lots of people will say we want to see Heath Chapman move up the field, maybe go into the midfield or on the wing. But I think we have the least squad depth in our back line. If you think about the players that I'm going to discuss in the midfield in a minute, it's hard to put Heath Chapman into that mix and keep all of our young guns in that midfield. And then down back, we're a little bit thin anyway. And I reckon Heath Chapman is as solid as you get for a sort of third tall. He can play really any type of forward. He's really quick, really agile to take the small, fast forwards. Then he's got the height, the athleticism, the lankiness to take a taller forward as well. We've seen him get injured in the last few years and not really have a full season. So hopefully we can see him get a full 23, 24 round season under his belt. Now in my centre line, I'm going to also go through my followers here. I'm going to have Johnson on one wing, Hayden Young centre, and then James Aish on the other side. Matt Johnson has to be a best 22 player now. He is the closest thing I've seen come through Freo to Dave Mundy since Dave Mundy. But he's even better because he's more athletic. That's a big call saying that Matt Johnson is better than David Mundy. Obviously, he's got a long way to go in his career yet. But he can really do it all, Matt Johnson. He can win his own contested ball. He's explosive. He's fast. His skills are good. He can kick a goal going down forward. So I do see comparisons to Mundy in that aspect. Hayden Young will probably play on ball all year, I'd expect. He could do a job if we got a bit thin down back, because I think the midfield is where we have our most depth. But I expect him to be in the first bounce down, round one, Hayden Young on ball. Who's going to be knocking it down to him? It's going to be Sean Darcy with Caleb Sarong and Andy Brayshaw either side. That's how I see it going. Then James Aish, he will start around stoppages sometimes and ball ups, but I think he's probably best suited to come in off that wing. He can play really any position, so it was easy to just chuck him out on the wing for this one. This was the toughest part of the best 22. The midfield is definitely where we have the most depth and the best potential coming through. So James Aish could potentially push into the back line and do a job there as well. This one was tough. And obviously it's going to change throughout the year. Half forward, I have Michael Frederick, Luke Jackson, and Sam Switkowski. Switkowski's the half forward you'll probably see push up into the stoppage. Frederick, I don't like him lying too far forward. I like him getting up the field and stretching the defence. And then Luke Jackson is not our starting ruck, is he? He's our ruck forward that can bloody play anywhere, the unicorn. So I think he'll be a starting 22 half forward. And then in our full forward line, I've got Michael Walters. He's in the twilight of his career, but he still produces magic. He's still a pretty reliable contributor. I wouldn't mind seeing Walters get rested more this year to allow some of the younger guys to come through. But when the game's in the dying embers, you can always rely on Michael Walters. I still think he is in our best 22. Jai Amos, the prodigy, the best forward we've had since Matthew Pavlich. So athletic, so coachable, so dynamic. He's got that stringy, wiry strength, athleticism. He's a dead-eye shot for goal, high footy IQ, absolute gun. We love Jai Amos. He's our full forward for the next decade or more. And then Sammy Sturt, a man that needs to play consistent footy. Hopefully we can see him stay injury-free, get a good run of games and get his confidence up. He's been on the list long enough now. We really need to see him start clicking. We've seen glimpses of Sam Sturt doing some really good things, but we haven't really seen it from a week-to-week basis, which, you know, you get that with young teams, but it's hard when you're a forward as well, especially a deep lying forward, but it's on Sam Sturt to make this year what he wants it to be. On the bench, I've gone with Nathan Fyfe. I think just for his X factor, his leadership, I think he probably still does scrape into the best 22 just, but on the bench, I think he should play reduced minutes this year. Got Jager O'Meara on there as well, just because of the experience, the cool-headedness that he brings. I think we just do need some of those older players to guide the younger players. So Fyfe and O'Meara are in for that reason. Then we got Jeremy Sharp, the new acquisition from Gold Coast. So I'd see him obviously on the wing, but it could be a strange rotation with Aish, Chapman, like a sort of wing half-back rotation, I think. Maybe I'm just making it up. That's how it works in my head. And then I couldn't forget Josh Tracy. I think he could be a really good player. Had to squeeze him in the best 22 for mine. I haven't got a defender on this bench, and I think we probably are pretty thin down back. Ethan Hughes. But other than that, no one really stuck out to me as a defender to put in that side. So the defenders will be playing overs in my best 22 this year. And this was tough. I'll go through the rough ones that I've left out. So one, Neil Erasmus. I just don't know where to put him. Like, who do you push out for Neil Erasmus? Potentially like a Walters or even a Fyfe or an O'Meara, because, you know, you want that young potential to be playing and improving every week. But I feel like inserting Erasmus into the side for a Fyfe or an O'Meara initially, that could have more harm than good to start with. Obviously, he'll get his opportunity. He'll play most games this year, I think, especially considering injuries and stuff like that. But yeah, that was the toughest call. I'd love to see Will Brodie play again this year. I think he was a massive part of our success in 2022. A lot of the stats that we struggled in last year, like contested ball and stoppages and all that sort of stuff, Will Brodie was really good at in 2022. I don't know what happened last year. I don't know whether JL is looking for something different in a midfielder, but I feel like taking Will Brodie out of that midfield put a lot more emphasis on the shoulders of Andy Brayshaw. Brayshaw had to sort of play that Mundy, Will Brodie, and then Brayshaw role on his own, and we saw his consistency take a hit last year. And then Sarong, I feel like, got a lot of reward off the back of what Brayshaw had to do week in, week out. It was a pretty rough year for Andrew Brayshaw. A lot was put on him as a player. So for that reason, I'd really like to see Will Brodie get back into the side. I'm not sure how he does. And hopefully Fyfe can play some consistent footy as well. He's looking good in the match sim so far, but doesn't really mean anything. We just need to see a healthy Nat Fyfe this year. So we've got Erasmus and Brodie missing out. Ethan Hughes, I expect him to probably be in JL's best 22. He's always just like a solid 7 out of 10. Nothing more, nothing less. Maybe sometimes less. But he's a player that goes under the radar a lot. I expect him to play just because he can play as a defender. But he's not in my best 22. Emmett had a great end to the season last year. Best 22 quality just yet. We will see. Cooper Simpson, our top pickup this year in the draft. He's looking really good. He's got the number 29 on his back as well, which comes with a lot of expectation, I suppose. That's the best number in our club's history. Will he live up to the hype? I hope he does. He's looking slick. All the players speak really highly of him. He'll probably start in the waffle, but I expect him to play over 10 games in the AFL at least this year. Now, this sounds harsh, but I don't want to see Matt Taverner in the best 22. I don't think he's a best 22 player. I know JL loves him, and it maybe draws the best defender, so Amos and Tracy and Sturt can play off him, but I just don't think he is up to modern footy standards. His seasons are always impacted by injury, but we'll see how he goes, and I hope that he can prove me wrong, but I just don't think Matt Tabner is a best 22 player. And then we'd have Oscar McDonald, who's that tall defender that could come in if we experience any injuries down back as well. Again, this was really tough. Didn't even mention Nathan O'Driscoll. I hope he has another breakout season like he did in 2022. Hope he had a massive preseason. O'Driscoll, he has the talent, he has the passion, he has the skill. Does he have the fitness? Is his body up to AFL standard? It remains to be seen. I really hope it works out for O'Driscoll. Another one I didn't mention is Banfield, but it was hard. All right, I want you guys to comment down below who is your best 22 for Fremantle in 2024. This was really tricky, but there's only 22 spots and I did my best. So I want to see yours in the comment section. Comment down below your best 22. All that we can hope is that it's a better season than last year, and I think it will be. I think we'll play more consistent footy as this list matures. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It helps the channel massively in times where my views haven't been as high. Trying to get back into the algorithm, so please leave a like if you enjoy the video and subscribe if you're new and wanting new footy content for the 2024 season. Get involved in the comments. I'll be replying to them, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care, you plonkers.